Hi everyone, it's Danny. Welcome back to my channel and my last Halloween themed layout for 2020. I know it's a little bit sad, but today is, or the day that I'm uploading this is Halloween in Australia. So after this point, yeah, I'm kind of all Halloweened out. I do love Halloween, but I'm running out of photos to be honest. So hopefully this year I'll have a bunch more to play with for next year. So I am going through with my Simple Stories Happy Haunting collection, and I am cutting apart this entire sheet of 2x2 squares. So I'm going to do a grid layout today. I was heavily inspired by a layout that Jessica Ware, who is part of the Scrappy Sisters, made a little while ago using a bunch of 2x2 squares, and I am just going to do something very similar. So thanks to Jess for the inspiration. Jess has been on the Confessions of a Paper Addict Cut Files design team with me for quite a while now, and I definitely consider her a scrappy friend, even though we've never met in real life. So I am just going to start with a simple sheet of plain white cardstock, and all I'm going to do to this is some black splatters. So I'm just taking black acrylic paint and adding a little bit of water to make it the right texture for splatters. I do have a black mist or two, but when I do splatter those, they never come out nice and opaquely black. They always turn a little bit grey, and they tend to bleed into the paper as well, whereas I find I don't get that with the acrylic paint. It's really black and it pretty much stays where I put it. So I'm just doing a kind of random diagonal splatter of those paint splotches. Now you can see those are all the squares that I went through and distressed all the edges. I sat in front of the TV to do that, hence the tea tray. It's one of my favourite things to do in front of the TV. So I have done mostly squares, and there you can see I forgot to, I missed one, forgot to distress this one. So I mostly use squares, but some of them I did kind of trim down so that they would layer on top of some of the other squares. And then some of them I've cut in a diagonal triangle and overlaid them as well. So I haven't glued anything down. I've just kind of laid them roughly out in the grid that I want. I will come in a minute and spend quite a bit of time rearranging those all till I have them where I want them. But first I'm going to just get my photo all ready. My photo is a shot of the front entrance to Bunnings when they had their trick-or-treat trail set up all for the kids to trick-or-treat. If you saw my layout earlier in the month for Scrap the Boys, where I used the dinosaur cut file and photos of my son dressed up in the dinosaur costume, that was this day. So this is just a shot of all the decorations that they had set up at the front entrance. They had it all decorated through as well, and like craft activities and trick-or-treat stations. So it was really fun, safe way for the kids to trick-or-treat. I don't think it's happening this year, sadly, but I have this memory to scrap anyway. So this will be a companion page to that other page. And I've used the same collection, so they will go together nicely. So I'm just backing my photo on just plain white to add that white border back, and then I am backing it on this black and white. It's kind of like a leaf design, and I backed it that weird way, like out of the center of the paper, because I want to keep the outside of that paper as a border. And I actually might have featured that on a layout on this channel since, because I actually made this one quite a while ago. I'm only just getting around to editing it now. Just going through and sort of playing with my placement now. So like I said, I had just stuck everything kind of down randomly so I could get the idea of the grid, but I haven't got them in the places that I want them to be. Like at the bottom, those two skulls are next to each other. So I'm just going through and adding some glue and getting everything glued down so I can move each piece as a whole piece. And now I'm going to go through and get my layout all exactly how I want it. So I'm trying to make it so there are no big sort of words together, that there are no, like those two skulls, I don't want them together. I don't want the two spiders to be together. I don't want like two really black ones together or two really white ones together. I'm trying to get a good mixture of images and words and colors spread out. And I think it was a lot harder than it sounds, but I think I get there in the end. So this is what I end up with. And I'm just going to go through with my ATG and stick these all down. I'm starting with the bottom row and just trying to get them all nicely spaced. They're like that, and then I'm going to go around each edge and just get them just as close to evenly spaced as I possibly can. I'm not worrying too much about it because I've distressed all the edges, so that helps to disguise any differences in the spacing and the gaps. And in the end, I think it turns out pretty well. So I am just going to add some adhesive foam here behind where my photo is going to sit. Even though I've only used like one layer of paper for most of those grids. Some of them have 2 layers of paper, and distressing all the edges does add dimension as well. So if I had not put that frame there, it would have sat kind of funny. This is going to be my title. I didn't want anything too big because I already have a lot going on, so I'm just going to use the Trick or Treat sticker off the sticker pack, and I will just add some foam to the top edge where it is hanging off the photo, again because my photo is popped up on foam, so if I don't do this it will not sit right. So I'm just snipping off tiny pieces so I can add those there. Just layer that nicely there. I'm trying to cover up as much of that kind of ugly red sign as I can. And then I'm going to add a couple of pieces of chipboard. So I really love this pom-pom banner, but it was a bit too long. So I'm just going to snip off the end, and then I'm going to tuck that cut end behind the loop on the R there so you can't tell it was cut. And then I'll add these little pumpkins down in this corner. Again, just trying to cover up the pile of shopping baskets a little bit. So, I mean, it's clearly Bunnings, so I'm not trying to cover up anything too much. But yeah, that large pop of red in the shopping baskets and the large pop of red in the sign, I wanted to cover a bit because even though there is a dark orange in this collection, there isn't red, so it just kind of helps to tone it down a little bit. I'm going to add a few more stickers. I did try those bats, but I couldn't make them work, so I did end up putting in that little candy. I'm popping in a few of these tiny word strips as well. So very spooky. And then I think it says happy haunting, so I'll just tuck this in at the bottom, and then I will add one more just at the top of my title, just there. It says Happy Halloween. Perfect. And then I'm going to add my journaling, and I'm just going to journal all the way around the outside edge, which is quite plain, so it's really the only place left to journal. So I'm just going to go all the way around the outside edge with my Pigma Micron pen. And that will be my layout finished. Super simple, super easy. I really hope you have enjoyed my Halloween layouts this year. I've had so much fun making them. Close-ups are coming up, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.